So now let's go ahead and practice using the triangle midsegment theorem to find different measures. So looking at this first one, I want to find 3 different measures given this figure. So I see in this figure that I have 2 different midsegments. I see that MP is a midsegment since M is a midpoint and P is a midpoint. And I see that PN is a midsegment. So the first question asks me to find the length of JL. So I want to find the length of this. Well, I know from my midsegment theorem that JL is going to be twice as long as the opposite midsegment. And so that opposite midsegment is PN. So it's going to be twice the length of PN. Well, PN I see from this picture is 36, so it's going to be twice the length of 36. And so that means that JL is equal to 72. Okay, so now let's look at PM. So PM is this length right here that I want to find. I know from my triangle midsegment theorem that the side opposite of it is parallel, and it's going to be twice as long. So in other words, I know that PM is half the length of LK. Well, I see that LK is 97. So when I take half of 97, I get 48.5. Okay, then the last one's asking me to find an angle measure. And I want to find the measure of angle MLK. So I want to find this angle measure right here. Again, we know that PM and LK, another relationship that they have is that they are parallel lines. And so kind of similarly to what we saw in our previous problem, I see that angle JMP and MLK are corresponding angles. And so that means that they are congruent. So that means that the measure of angle MLK is also going to be 102 degrees. Okay, let's try some more. So first I want to find the length of ED. I know that ED is going to be half the length of the side opposite of it, and that's because this is a midsegment. So ED is going to be half of BC. Well, BC is length 20, so it's going to be half of 20. Therefore, ED is equal to 10. Okay, now we want to find the length of AB. Well, I know that AB has a special relationship with that midsegment opposite of it, so ED. And I know that BE is, or AB is twice the length of FD. Well, FD is length 7. So that means that AB is equal to 14. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try and figure out C. When you think you have it, go ahead and press play. So the answer you should have gotten was 44 degrees. I see that BFE and FCD are corresponding angles, and I know that corresponding angles are congruent, so this will be 44 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to look at actually finding a variable. So here I want to find the value of n. I know that this length right here is 3n plus 12, and this length is n plus 14. I see that this n plus 14 is the midsegment of this triangle, so I know that the side opposite of it, which is the 3n plus 12, is going to be twice the length of my midsegment, so 2 times n plus 14. Now since I am doing twice this length, I have to put parentheses around my n plus 14 because I'm really doubling everything in there. So now when I go ahead and solve, I'm going to distribute my 2. So I get that 3n plus 12 is equal to 2 times n, which is 2n, plus 2 times 14, which is 28. Subtract 2n from both sides. And I get n plus 12 is equal to 28. And then I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. And I get that n is equal to 16. Okay, let's try one more just like that. So here I have 2 segment lengths. I want to find the value of x. I see that 2x plus 7 is my midsegment, and I know that because it's connecting my 2 midpoints. And what I know about my midsegment is that it is half the length of the opposite side, or in other words, that longer side, 5x minus 1, is going to be twice the length of my midsegment. So 2 times 2x plus 7. Again, super important to put parentheses around this because I am doubling the entire thing. So my first step is I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 2. And so I get 2 times 2 is 4x. And 2 times 7, I get 14. Subtract 4x from both sides. And I get x minus 1 is equal to 14. I'll add 1 to both sides, and I get x is equal to 15.